You're listening to Living in Spain podcasts with David Wright.
Hi, David Wright here, and today I'm in Almeria and I'm with Alejandro Salvador from Salvador Tax and Legal, and we're just going to be talking a little bit about self-employed and starting a business here in Spain and what is best for you. So hi Alejandro.
Hello David, hi.
So I've had a few questions about self-employed. We've done a lot of videos on that, but what is the difference if someone wants to start working here? Should they set up a limited company, or what is really the difference between that and self-employed?
Well, I mean, it's very similar than other countries like UK. You have these limited companies that is similar to our Sociedad Limitada or being self-employed. For me, the main reason, or let's say that we have three reasons why you would do it. None with autonomous, I would go for a company. The first reason is that if you are going to have partners, being self-employed is not what you should take, because you are alone. If you have partners and they are going to work in your business and they're going to be there, the way of being self-employed it shouldn't be the best. The second thing that I would consider is if your business can have some kind of liabilities. Let's say that you are going to build houses on a high level, or you are going to do things with a kind of risk of liability for yourself. When you are autonomous, when you are self-employed, you respond. Everything that happens in the company you will respond personally. So you can, in case there is a problem, an accident, and the insurances are not covering, or a big debt for some reason, and you are not covered, you will respond with your goods, with your assets that you have personal. When you are a company, your liability is quoted by the shares on your company, and normally the shares are 3,000 euros. So you have to let's say confront like 3,000 euros, not the whole debt. Of course, there are some other things that if you have done something illegal or something that is not according to the law, you could be responsible. But in first phase, you are limited to the shares that the company has got.
So when I was self-employed here, then if I did a job for somebody, there's something wrong, it comes back to me, and they could take assets from my bank or my house. The bank could take assets from the house, things like that. But if I start a company up, that company, then anything that I own personally is protected. Is that the difference?
That's exactly how it is. When you have a limited company, this is something separate from you as an individual. It's not the company is something else. It's a different figure. And as you said, if you are self-employed, I don't know, you have a big debt, an accident, and the insurance are not covering, you will respond with your personal assets, your car, your house, your money, your motorbike, anything that you may have. They can take it because you respond personally of anything that happens with your business.
So if you had a company where you say you're going to do renting cars out, so you're going to have a couple of people working for you, you're going to have some staff, that would be better than to have a set up as a company rather than as a self-employed person, yeah?
No, what I meant about when you have partners is when you are going to do the business with someone else. Not with being self-employed, you can have employees. You can have one employee or 10,000 employees. This is not the thing, and you can act exactly the same in the market as a company has got. And this is I'm very frequently asked this question: can I do the same, or can I hire people if I'm self-employed? Of course you can. It's exactly the same. The only thing, or one of the differences, is that you will act with your name and ID. In your case, you will be with your NIE. There is not, you are not named with a name of a company, although you can use a name that is linked to your business, but the official name, the trade name, let's say, it would be yourself with your NIE, and you have to use that in all the contracts, in all the invoices, in everything that you have in your place. But it's important to understand that one person that is self-employed, we call it autonomo, can act exactly the same. The only difference is what I told you, your responsibility, if you're going to have partners. And the third thing that I always say is that the size of the business. Let's say that there is a business that you are going to make millions or make money, make a lot of money, then going self-employed maybe is not the case, because in Spain, same as in England, when you calculate your tax as an individual, your tax is progressive. Yeah. So in Spain we can pay up to 45% in taxes. When you act with a company, the tax is flat. You pay basically 25%. So there is a difference. When you are making a very, very good profit, we calculate more or less it's more than 40,000 euros net in profit. Above that, if you speak about taxes, it's better to have a company. Why? Because you will pay less taxes. But it's important to know also that, as we said at the beginning, the company is independent to you. If you want to take this money out, then you will have to do other things like getting a salary or getting dividends, because the money or the business itself, it will belong to the company. So 3 things basically. If you are going to have partners, if there could be potential liabilities like building, construction, big risk, things that business are not very clear on the business, like for example could be things about this new world of cannabis, and that is a bit tricky. Or the third is that when you are going to be very big, that is better to do it because of taxes.
So what are the costs for doing self-employed and doing a limited business? Is there much difference in costs?
Yeah, it is different, because when you are self-employed, as I said, you just run with your NIE, and it's just communications to the tax office, to the Social Security, paying autonomous and so on. When you are a company, a limited company, you have to do your status, your deed. You have to do it with a notary, and it can cost around 1,500, depending on who you deal with, to do as a limited company. And after that, as the obligations are a bit more strict, let's say, you have to have a proper bookkeeping. The accounting should be very, very accurate. It's a bit more expensive to run, or if you hire someone like us, a gestor, economist doing your books. It is a bit more expensive, because the bookkeeping should be much more accurate than if you do it as an individual. If you start as an individual, initially there is not a cost of establishment, the business, aside of the fees of who is helping to you. And then if you are, this is a shop, then you will need licenses and so on that we cannot get in. But initially, if you compare doing with a limited company, that you need a deed, you need to go to the notary, the registry and so on, and doing as self-employed, the cost here as self-employed is nothing, more or less nothing, and with the company, the limited company, is a bit more expensive.
So most British people that are coming here, then they're going to work, they're going to be going for the self-employed. It's going to be much easier and a lot cheaper to start with, no?
Yeah. I mean, for the businesses that we are normally dealing, that is people that are self-employed, that they want to make the same business as they were doing in the UK. I think that to start with, the best is to be autonomous. And one thing that I'm also asked very often is that being autonomous, if they can invoice your client in England. And I said, of course you can, the same as with the company. There are many people that they move to Spain, that they are working remote in computing or things that marketing, sales, advice, those things that you are working from home just with your computer. If you are self-employed, you can always invoice to your company, to your client in England or anywhere else.
So people that are working online in Spain can invoice people in the UK still?
Sure.
No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, well, that's very helpful. Thanks very much, Alejandro, and thanks for the time today.
You're welcome.
If you have enjoyed this podcast by David Wright, then you will love his new books. Out now on Amazon and Kindle, packed with money-saving tips and information on living and working in Spain. Just go to livinginspainbooks.com. David also has a popular blog for expats in Spain. Come and take a look now at britishexpatsinspain.com.